Sorry, my mic was muted. These times are times is really getting weird. You hear me? Times is really getting weird. They really getting weird. All right, guys. I want to get into the story. This is my first story. Back in the saddle. I don't work all day long, so I am very much so tired. But I had to push through because I promised you guys that I was gonna be out here, and so we are here. I'm gonna cover this story, and I know everybody named Mama done cover the story, but I want to cover the story, and I want to talk about mental illness too. I want to talk about mental illness and the risk that people run by not getting the proper diagnosis and not taking care of themselves. Okay, so but we are going to go over just in case someone hasn't been above ground, and we're going to go over the story. Okay, let me just pull it up. Excuse me. And this is coming from the Detroit Free Press. A shout out to them. Oh, Jesus. Nat. I can't stand it. I've been doing the bleach and stuff in the drain and all that, but still. All right, guys. So let's just get into it real brief. We're going to cover the points, the high points of the story, and then we're going to talk about. I want to come from a different perspective. Okay, guys. So it says a 26-year-old McDonald's employee has been charged with fatally stabbing her manager, a mother of 6, during a dispute at a fast food restaurant where they worked. Of East Point was arraigned on Friday, July 11th, in the 38th District Court here in Michigan. On first-degree premeditated murder. Mandatory life sentence without parole offense. She was carrying a dangerous weapon, which was a knife, and carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent. A 5-year felony, according to Macomb County Prosecutor Peter Lucidio office. Okay, Muhammad was just before 8 a.m. on Thursday, July 10th, at the McDonald's located on a 9-mile road in East Point. Okay, so Harris, who worked at the location for 15 years, allegedly sent Muhammad home before her shift ended, the prosecutor said. The East Point Detective Lieutenant said, "I'll be back." She returned back to McDonald's wearing a mask, entering through the employee entrance and allegedly stabbing Harris multiple times with a knife. A customer at the drive-thru who was lawfully carrying a concealed weapon witnessed the attack and fired his gun in an attempt to stop it. According to the police prosecutor office, Muhammad fled to a vehicle where the customer followed her and held her at gunpoint until the East Point police arrived and arrested her. This is absolutely senseless and heartbreaking tragedy. A life was taken in the act of unimaginable violence. Lucido said in a statement. The victim leaves behind 6 children, 6 young lives that will grow and grow without a parent. This isn't a statistic. This is a family shattered, future forever altered. So during the plea, it said that she stood muted and she entered a plea of not guilty. I guess her representative of the court, they was trying to give her a court-appointed attorney. Okay, So, and then of course the family has a GoFundMe. So hey Mantis, how you doing? Mantis, how you doing, sir? We said nothing but love your way. We said nothing but love your way, Mantis. For real, for real. for for real. I thank you for your support. Okay, so let's get into the videos, and then I want to talk about and when I talk about this, guys, I want y'all to come for me, but I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. Okay, so let's get into the first video. Let's get into the first video, guys. Let me mute the music so you guys can hear it. Let me get it. Let me mute this music right quick. Just for 1 second. All right, let's get into the first video.
Like, what the fuck you telling me this for? Like to think she's like trying to make it seem like that she big dog or some shit. Give a fuck about you telling me about you pulling the gun on a kid. I don't fucking she has no respect, and it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of, and she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps sending her little racial shit. And then throughout the day, she keeps on like putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. Nah, this stays at home. No, I'm not gonna bring this to work. Because
I don't know why this is not playing. Hold on a second, guys. I don't think it's streaming, y'all. I think it's my connection. So let me see what's up. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. All right. Let's try this. It's not. It's not doing it. I'm trying to show the state of mind that this child was in, okay? And I say, hey, Scorpio, I said nothing but love your way because you deserve it. I just wanted to try to show the state of mind that this child was in, okay? And I say child because she's young. You can tell she's young. Listen, if you just go by her, you know what? Excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. I gotta take this down. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Just hold tight. All right. Okay, so if you just look at the child, you can see that there's something going on. Now, you have people who are bipolar, schizophrenic, and I'm not no psychiatrist or no psychologist, so I cannot diagnose. But you have people who can function with medicine. They can function, and y'all excuse me for me looking rough. I worked all day long. I ain't got no lipstick on. I feel bad. I feel like I ain't myself. But anyway, you can tell people who got some type of mental issue just by their demeanor or their cadence or their rationale or you know how they enunciate certain things, you know what I'm saying, or just their movements, you know, you can just tell. And we see something is going on. However, I feel like she has been functioning that way for a long time, and she's probably been able to sustain herself, you know what I'm saying, and make a living for herself. However, there is some type of eccentricity to her. You can see that just in her, you know, how she was, you know, dressed and how she was talking. You can tell that, right? And so I want to say, when we know, and I'm speaking from the point of a supervisor, a boss, you know what I'm saying? when we have those type of employees that may cross our path on our job, they give us training on how to deal with those individuals. They can work just like anybody else. We cannot be biased. We cannot be discriminatory. We cannot. So we have to allow them to work the job. Now it's up to us how we manage and how we engage with them and how we manage them. You understand? So there was a point. There was a time at the Y where there was a grown person. She was autistic. She came to work every day. She had a shadow that would come to shadow her initially for the first couple of months, but we could not deny her that position. She had went and got the training that she needed, the credentials that she needed, and she worked. However, she was autistic, so we had to watch her. Sometimes they do that tunnel vision where they hyper focus on things, and or it would be a situation where she would continually wipe the tables, continually, you know what I'm saying? Because she was hyper focused. So we had those things we had to watch. Now, individuals that are schizophrenic and bipolar, they have triggers that you have to watch. You know what I'm saying? When they become impulsive and become violent and become unpredictable. So, those type of individuals, you have to really keep your eye on. This is what she strikes me as. Now, just looking at her and looking at her demeanor, and I'm just going to say it. And I want y'all to follow me and ride with me for a minute. Just ride with me for a minute to see where I'm going. I can already tell, and I could be dead wrong, but this is just my perspective, that they probably were making jokes, talking about her, making fun of her, making fun of her interest, how eccentric she was, probably making fun of her responses. You know what I'm saying? Doing things to get a response, and you know what I'm saying? Even she said in her video, you know what I'm saying? They were talking about me and all this stuff. Now, do it warrant her going home and getting a knife and stabbing this woman to death? Absolutely not. It does not. You understand what I'm saying? But I say this to say, especially the bosses, we need to be careful in how we deal with coworkers on the job. That's why I am a stickler of being fair. That's why I'm a stickler. You're not going to hear me running down and talking about somebody and how they look or how they dress in, or if they look at the shovel or talking about their hair, especially another woman. You're not going to see me do it. Because I've been working in management long enough to know that you do not know what people go home to. You do not know how people really are at home. You don't know what kind of medication they own, and you don't know what type of liability they are for the center or for your job. That I've learned that just years and years of being in management. Okay, but nothing that this woman could possibly said could have warned her being killed. Let's be clear. But what I'm saying is this. You said, all right, about to rest up now. Okay. I hear you, Josh. Thank you for supporting. You said I had it happen to me in 2014. Scorp, you had it happen to you for 2014. See, this is the thing. When you see people like that come across your job and you know something going on with them, you may not can put your finger on it, but you know something going on. Them the people you got to treat with the softest touch. Do you hear what I say? That's not the time to become childlike and immature and poking and laughing and pointing and making their day rough. I had two bullies on my job. I've been working in childcare for 25 years. I've had two bullies within my life. I'm talking about extreme bullies. Didn't like me, just didn't like my aura, just didn't like who I was, didn't like my confidence, didn't like my character, didn't like it. So what they did was every day they tried to tear me down. Every day they tried to embarrass me. Every day they tried to these individuals tried to gang up and build a community against me. Every blunder I took, they magnified it. Every time I walked in the room, when I walked out, they had something snickering to say. They, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they made a comment about my clothes. And now, trust me, when I go to work, I go to work put together. You understand what I'm saying? But they even made fun of that. Oh, where you going? You know what I'm saying? Oh, she thinks she going, because you don't like it. You don't like my swag. You don't like my confidence. You don't like how I set the tone when I walk in the room. You don't like that. So you're going to try to bully. But I kept myself on a swivel. I kept my stance until I couldn't take it no more. And I remember one day it had just become so intrusive. And I had already said it's gonna go down. The next time they say something, it's gonna go down. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the man of God called me, the prophet called me. He said, it's two people on your job they like piranhas and they're circling around you. And the Lord said He getting ready to remove them in 7 days. And when I tell you in 7 days, they both lost their job because it had became too much. You said she's still looking over her shoulder now, huh? Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Listen, do you understand? I had enough. It was just so ridiculous how grown women. And I must say this now again. I'm gonna say this again. Nothing that this woman could have possibly did would warrant her losing her life. Okay, but let me say this: there's nothing worse than a bunch of women gathered together, feeding off each other, spreading negative, disseminating immature things or scenarios about another woman that you don't like, even if it's true. Even if the employee clothes is torn, even if they come in there smelling, even if they come in there eccentric, even if they come in there dressed funny, even if they come in there wearing the same thing over and over again, that's not your job to make fun of that woman. That's not your job to tear down that employee. That's not that. Your job is to make sure that they do their job if you're in management. And if you're their co-worker, your job is to work alongside them to make sure that y'all have a productive day. And that's it. And you punch out and go home. That's your objective for the day. That's all you should be doing. You understand what I'm saying? But sitting up there spreading rumors, creating cliques, you understand what I'm saying? It is nothing more worse when management step in and click up with the employees to talk about another employee. That's gutter butt and trash. And that's and yeah, you creating a situation where somebody can get hurt. Because see, again, you don't know what makes this person tick. You don't know where they at on this ticking bomb inside of them. You don't know their triggers. You don't know what they going home to. You don't know what they battling in their mind. You don't know what traumas have shaped them and made them the way that they are. You don't know what this woman has experienced. You said she was jealous because everybody loves me. Wow. I mean, when I tell you this situation traveled with me for decades, in every situation was the same thing. You ain't got to listen to her. She thinks she better than. And all I would do, I promise y'all, all I would do was come in there and do my job. I can't help it because I had the answers every time. I can't help it because I was efficient at what I do. I can't help it because the favor of the Lord was on my life. I cannot help that. And I tried to be fair. You understand what I'm saying? I tried to be as friendly as possible. I looked over stuff for years and decades. I just kept looking over it. You understand what I'm saying? Hold on, wait 1 second. I'll talk to. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. And so you just have to be careful because this is an unfortunate situation. I am quite sure they knew something was wrong with this girl, but I bet you that they didn't know to what extent. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you keep poking at somebody, and then they're going to show you for real what they all about. You know, and it's unfortunate. And so they kept sending her home. I don't know what kind of policy they had there. I don't know if it was first come in or, the last go. I don't know how they got it. You know what I'm saying? If you come in first, you the first to leave. I don't know. But here's the thing. That girl said, I got things to do. I got, what I'm saying? You keep sending me home. You cut into my bread. You cut into my pockets. People trying to survive. People trying to live. Again, I'm going to say it again. Nothing that this woman did warrant her getting killed. I'm going to say that. But I'm just trying to paint a picture for you all. Imagine you said they didn't think she would take that for. They didn't think she would take it that far. You're absolutely right. But see, you never can judge what an individual will do out of desperation, or if their ego get bruised, or they just getting tired of being punked, or they're getting tired of coming to work. It's nothing worse than somebody who's been coming to work every single day to ridicule, you know what I'm saying, to bullying, to jokes being made at them all the time. It'll make you spaz out. It will make you spaz out. It will make you spaz out. There was a situation that arose. Thank God my best friend was working with me at the time. And she had to shut it down for me because I'm the type of person, I'm going to ration with you. I'm going to talk to you. We're going to have some conversation. But if I stop talking and you keep going, if you notice me stop talking, then you need to go ahead and duck. That's why I'm mad. That's why you will never, ever see me get extremely mad. Nobody, I can count on one hand individual. I can count on two fingers. Individuals who have seen me get extremely mad and trust and believe there was a physicality. You understand what I'm saying? And I never want to get there. I get so mad to the room shift. The walls literally shift. And I know I need to go lay down somewhere. Yeah, under too much pressure. You understand what I'm saying? I'm the type of person. I'm gonna be impulsive and react, and then reason about it later. So I never get mad. That's why you're gonna always see me jovial. You're gonna always see me talking. You're gonna always see me, walking away, or I'm just gonna calm and try to laugh it out. So I know my family has we have a very a predominant problem with temper, really bad temper, but it's not no normal temper. It's the type of temper where you're going to be locked up and doing some time, that type of temper. So I know that about myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's very rare where I've gotten extremely upset, and I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to grab the first thing. You understand what I'm saying? And then if I can't handle it, then that's when you start making the phone calls and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's where I go and have been. And so that's why I don't get mad. So when those type of situations come, I just walk away. But guess what? The person on the job don't know that. The person on the job don't know that about me. You know what I'm saying? They may know, oh, she got an aggressive disposition, or she talk with authority or something like that. But you don't know. I'm the type of person, if I get in a situation where I'm backed into a wall, somebody gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? A cut, something gonna happen to you. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why just come in there and do your job. Come in there and do your job. There's nothing worse than individuals, grown women or grown men, coming together against one individual. That person comes to work every day feeling threatened, on edge, defensive, can't focus on their job. They waiting on you to tag into them and dig into them. You understand what I'm saying? It's just not a good, healthy environment. So as supervisors, we always watching out for that. And when we see certain things, I know I do, when I see certain cliques arising and certain concentrations that's not cool and not positive, then I try to break that up. Then we try to switch the schedule around. We try to rotate the staff in the rooms so that you can build another social eco. You know what I'm saying? On the job, because that's what's needed. You say it is wrong to pull a person to the side if you see them lacking in any way. No, is it wrong? No, it's not wrong at all. And I would prefer for you to do that. It's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. And I have done it over and over again. It have been a blessing. You understand what I'm saying? And then you keep it moving. And I lead like this. Hey, so next time you do that, you might want to do this. And I found other strategies and they work for this. And I got some materials that I'm going to bring your way. Or when you say that kind of, I have done that. I have done that to people who are over me and walked in and say, hey, next time when you do that, you might want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't do that in front of you don't embarrass that person or correct that person in front of everybody. That's the wrong way to do it, because now they're embarrassed, they feel small, and they're liable to retaliate. You know what I'm saying? You hear in the news sometimes when people, they go back, and especially the post office. I don't know what it is about the post office. I don't know what kind of pressure them people be under, but they go and come back and they look for the people who have done them the worst. They look for those people who have made their life hard for months and months and years, and they take them out. I do not want to be your target. I don't want to be your target. I want you to say about me that I was a fair boss, I was a fair supervisor. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I want you to say about me. And I try my best to be fair. You know what I'm saying? I try my best to be fair. If I see someone staying longer, putting in more hours out, the next day I'm gonna try to let them get out there early. Or like the other day, I was under some stress. I was just irritated, and I kind of got short with one of the staff there. And so the next day, I made it my business, before I even put my bag down, to go to them and apologize to them for my demeanor, for my tone. to let them know, you know what I'm saying? I acknowledge that I was wrong and you don't deserve that type of treatment. I did that because I was dead wrong. That tone was off. It was off. You understand what I'm saying? So I did that. You know, people, I'm trying to live. You understand? I'm trying to live. I ain't trying to die. It's unfortunate that that happened to that woman. I have the actual incident, the actual stabbing. I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna show it. But I will tell you this. The way she was moving like it was like a passionate thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a passionate way she did that, you know, and she meant to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just out of like, I done had enough. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm gonna say it again. That woman did not deserve to die. But you see how people can be pushed over the edge. You cannot tell me that this was not out of frustration and out of anger and out of some sense of I'm tired of this. I'm sorry. You just can't tell me that. It was just too many posts that this woman made, and I believe that this is what happened. And the news is saying that, oh, they just, you know, oh, she did it because the woman sent her home. No, to my understanding, she was sent home a couple of times. And I'm gonna tell y'all something: the people ain't got time to be off of work. I'm 49 years old, and I'm trying to make all the hours I can make because I got things I need to do. You understand what I'm saying? I got to keep this thing going. And so, yeah, I can see you getting frustrated every time you turn around. You getting sent home or your hours getting cut short. I can't afford no stuff like that. But trust and believe, I ain't coming to take nobody out over it. I'm so tired of this doggone screen jumping. Y'all got to understand. I got to get me a green screen. I got to. I'm tired of this. It's bothering me. It's bothering me. Did you hear what I say? So if you so be careful. If you're not an entrepreneur, you working a lot, be careful. I don't care if they come in there wearing orange and pink. Girl, you know you looking good in that orange top. Stop ridiculing people. Stop being weak-minded and low-minded and linking up with people and tearing people down with your mouth and being derogatory and talking about folks. And not even at work, wherever you are. Don't be belittling nobody because of their external or how they are or because they got some type of mental illness. Okay, you understand? You don't know what these people have had to get through just to walk through the door. You do not know. You understand what I'm saying? I got rid of all my clothes last year. You know what I'm saying? Because I just did. It was time. I ain't had no space. I got like one little closet. You know what I'm saying? So when I bought my new wardrobe or whatever, I knew in my mind, this it. So I made sure them clothes was clean and I rotate them mugs and I show up at work. And I look good in my stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to see it a couple of times. More than you're going to see it often. And I wish somebody would come to me and say, oh, look, what, you know, she got, listen, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But even if that does happen, I'm not going to go and take nobody out over it. Because that's rationality. This girl did not have no rationale. And I'm not advocating for what she did at all. But you can look and see. All this girl was trying to do was make it. And come to work. You understand what I'm saying? This girl had some demons in her. That needed to be locked up and stay locked up. But a series of events, some kind of way, unlocked those demons. And was let loose. See, you don't know what you unlocking in somebody. You don't know what you triggering in somebody. So sometimes you need to just shut your mouth and go on and have a good day at work. Do you hear what I say? I done seen it too often. You running your mouth and next thing you know, they coming, they waiting on you. And it's a wop. Because you done ran your mouth at work in the security of the cameras and the security guard. But you got to leave work sometime. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you need... Listen, I had a supervisor. She, and I love her to death. I love this woman to death. Do you hear me? She's one of the smartest women I ever known. And for me to say that, you better know she's smart. You understand what I'm saying? One of the smartest women I ever knew. but she was, and she wasn't a sister. But she my sister, but she wasn't a sister. You get my drift? You understand what I'm saying? She was straight up thug, and she's in a high ranking, straight up thug. And she told me something so cold, it made me to back up off of her. Like I ain't never had no exchange with her, but I knew she meant business. You understand what I'm saying? That woman said, "You coming for me, you gonna meet the still at the door." That wasn't the scariest thing, but she also said, "If you come for me, you do me harm. Me and my people, we put you on a 5-year plan." I said, "What's the 5-year plan?" She said, "You got 5 years to look over your shoulder because you never know when we coming." I said, "What? What? What?" That's fear. You understand what I'm saying? That's fear. Who wants to live like that for 5 years? And to look at this woman, she got to be about 5 feet. To look at this woman, she looked like she's getting ready to, she's a corporate looking. She's corporate. You understand what I'm saying? She said, "I put you on a 5-year plan." I said, "Now I ain't heard no type of stuff like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?" I said, "You never know what people are willing to do." I most definitely was pushed there to the limit. You understand? Once I give you your warning and you know what I'm about, and then they come and also warn you, y'all hear what I say? The only reason I left her alone, I left the state. Oh my God. So you had to leave the state to leave that person alone, huh? Once I give you your warning, and once the people give you the warning that's attached to me, and they give you and they tell you what you better not do, and this has happened, and they tell you what you better not do right off from the beginning, so you can get understand, and then you still go and do that anyway. Know that it was a phone call made, and know that it was out. I'm gonna say this: you put an H in front of it. It was there. It was in place. It took the saints to say that ain't what you don't do it. That's where I go, and that's not the will of God. So as I've gotten older, that kind of, how do you describe it? That initiative is gone out of me, but it was there. It was there because you were told, "Don't you do that," and you went on and did it anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the invitation is still there anytime I need it. But as you get older, you understand that's not the vein that you want to go. Yeah, gangster mentality. That right. Yeah, gangster mentality. When you're raised, and I don't think Mantis even know this sad about me, but when you raised on the north end of Detroit, and you raised and prostitutes is living in your house, and you holding drugs for drug dealers, and that's the life that you live. You know what I'm saying? And your daddy's on heroin. You understand? And your mama's goddaughter is a dope thing. You just around it all the time, and that's that mentality. And you seeing people get shot and killed and beaten. That's the mentality that I was raised in. And everybody around me was raised like that. Especially we were close knit, and we all, especially the girls. And so the dudes I was raised up with, it's like my brothers. When I say they like my brothers, they like my brothers. And all I dated was drug dealers, except for a couple. You understand what I'm saying? My brother was a major drug dealer in the city. It's just what it was. So it was my culture. And I have always been told by more than one, if anything happened to you, you come and call me and come get me. So that was always in my arsenal, and it wasn't nothing. You can take it to the bank. And so I always had that in my pocket. But then my mother got into church, after, and then so we got into church, And so and then I was, we grew up in the church and everything, so that kind of softened, but I always knew it was there. So when you was trying to get funny and act goofy and thought you was gonna get physical, what did you expect me to do? Even to this day. 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 Do you hear what I say? This very second. This very second. Them people that be like in the shadows in the darkness, those are my brothers. Those are my brothers, and you understand what I'm saying? And a sister, So it's just I say this to say all of this. You may not know what is attached to people mentally. You may not know where people belong. So my thing is just go to work and do your job and come home. Go to work, do your job, and come home, because it's not worth it. It is not worth it, my friend. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not worth it. When you got people who they know, she knows she's about to go do time. She knew when she walked in that building, she was getting ready to do time. But you got people who are willing to bet it all because they don't got nothing to live for, because they done been through so much trauma in life that they're like, oh, well, I'm finna show you. Their need to show you something outweighs rationality. And when people get like that, look out. Look out. Look out. It ain't good. You got silly women. The Bible talks about silly women that sit up. Excuse me, y'all. I got indigestion. That sit up and talk about people and talk about women. And you don't know, these women be at home crying. They just trying to come to work and make a living for their kids and trying to pay their rent. And they got to come to work and deal with your silly self. Immaturity. I'm making my business. You know what I'm saying? When they come to me and want to talk about, and I'm a stickler for this. They want to come to me and talk about some woman. Now if we just laughing and kikiing, that's just workplace stuff. But when you go to talk about women bodies or their clothes or how they look, I stop you. I don't talk about other women. I don't tear other women down like that. I know what it is to need a bra. I know what it is to need clothes. I know what it is to need shoes. I know what it is to work all day long, don't have money to get home, to walk all the way home and need food. I've been there. I've been there and got to get up and walk all the way, get up from the crack of dawn, a woman by yourself, and walk all the way downtown, walk to work, hungry. I've been there. Got to work your job and walk all the way back home and make it to, oh my God, I've been there. And the reason I ask God, why do I, because of these moments right here that I can share with somebody that may be going through it. Just for your silly self to sit up there and talk about me or talk about her. Oh my God. I digress. Let me digress for a minute. I'm just going to digress for a minute. Never mind. I'm not going to do it. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to digress. I ain't going to do it. And maybe I do. Man, I do. Just hold on. Just hold tight. Just hold tight. Just hold tight. Just hold on. Because, sometimes things shift and change. Sometimes the atmosphere change dramatically, unexpectedly. So just hold tight. That's why you need to keep in contact with people, because you just never know. I'm saying, I'm throwing that out there. Whoever receiving that, they got it. Don't y'all worry about it. Don't say, Queen, what you talking about? They know what I'm talking about. So I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to be on your own as a woman and you just trying to make it. And you got this job where you got to dress professional. And you got two good pair of black pants and one pair of shoes. And thank God they give you a uniform top. I've been there. I've been there. That's why I listen. I know that's why my mother raised me the way she did, and I thank God she raised me to survive. I can do, and I'm not Lord. I don't want you to think I'm boasting or anything like that, but I can do just about anything. I can do my own hair. I can do, if I need to put acrylic on my nails, I can do that. If I need to do a manicure, I can do that. I know how to sew. You understand what I'm saying? I know how to do. If I gotta walk, I know how to walk. I know how to catch the bus. I know how to go get me some stamps if I need it. I know how to survive because it's me. My husband, he's over there somewhere. He's over there. I'm here. I got to survive. Do you understand what I'm saying? My hair, I do my own hair to save money. Now, if I wanted to, I go sit and let somebody braid my hair. But to say that 200 and 150, I do my hair and done refreshed it twice over to get through the week. Do you hear what I say? Trying to survive. So the last thing that I need you to do is come running your mouth about me because you ain't never walked in my shoes. You don't know what I got to go through. So if you see a little hole, hey, bring it to my attention. Hey, Queen, you got a little hole in your pants. I'm going to go home and sew it up and watch these pants and take it on back out there. You understand what I'm saying? Resistance is your superpower. Come on. That's why I can't stand no weak women. And I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but I can't stand no women who don't never know how to do nothing. I can't take it. Why you don't know how to get down to DHS and get you nothing? Why you don't know how to type up a letter? And no. I don't want y'all to think I'm talking about nobody because I'm not. I'm just speaking in general. Why you don't know to go take your kids to go get Focus Up to get some milk? Why you don't know to do that? Why you don't know to go to the community activity center to look on that wall for resources? Why you don't know what a food pantry is? Why you don't know to save your change for a low day for gas? Why you don't know that? I don't understand it. And it aggravates me because if I can do it, you can do it. But you're going to sit your simple dumb self up and talk about somebody. And you can't get yourself out of a paper bag. See, that's the type of stuff I don't like. You got the nerve to sit up and talk about somebody, but you can't do nothing. You don't know how to do nothing. You don't know how to write no money order. You don't know how to write no check. You don't know how to pay no rent. You don't know how to get no stipend. You don't know how to get no nothing. You just don't know. But you go sit up here and talk about somebody who's trying to make it, who come to work every day. Regardless if they got a hole in their pants or a hole in their sock or they got to wear a hat or a scarf, or their hair ain't done. They come to work every day and they work their hours. And they work your hours when you don't want to work. They come in, but you gonna sit up and talk about somebody. Silly women. That's why I'm always rocking with the one that the titties is hanging to their knees and they got bad breath and a bad wig. I'm gonna sit with you. Hey sis, what's up? What you need? What's going on? What's going on? I'm gonna sit and laugh and keep with you to let you know you are valuable. You a woman. It ain't gonna be like this always. I know what it is to wash I don't wash my whole outfits on my hand and hug them up to dry and went on to work. And did what I had to do. And walked in there with swag and knew who I was and still got mad respect. That's just how I am. See, I don't judge people. Because everybody going through something, but they ain't gonna let you know that. My God. Jesus, I can't get my man off. I can't get my man off of that. I can't get my man. My man. Help me, Father. Jesus. Okay, people. Be kind to people. It costs nothing to be kind to people. It costs nothing to be kind to people. It's free. Don't go with the crowd. Don't go with the clique. If you know somebody, a one woman that may be weak and they being bullied on the job, you rally around them. Shut them down. Because they're going to stop that in a minute. One time, I never forget, I had got engaged. And my coworker came to me. She's a sweet, beautiful, beautiful woman. She said, I'm going to throw you an engagement party. Even though they had something else going on, she said, I'm going to throw you an engagement party. And she made a list of things and stuff. And my bully was there. And all I did was walk in the door. I was so gracious. I said, "Oh, thank you so much," because at the time, a lot of people went for it. You understand what I'm saying? And for somebody to do something like that for me, it made me feel good, you know. And I walked in the door, and they said, "What are you doing here?" Now, mind you, it was an employee event. Everybody's invited. What are you doing here? My mom, she had made a pan of macaroni. You know, she had made a pan, you know. And I walked in there. She said, "What are you doing here?" Here. Oh, this one for you. And I'm like, kindness would have, went a long way. And then there was another time where we all had went out to dinner, and I was looking nice, beige turtleneck, big cuff, jeans, beige boots. You know, I came in not, but she couldn't find nothing to say, so she started talking about my boots. Mind you, they was nice, brand new. So I just said this thing. I just said this one simple thing, and it shut her up. I said, everybody, can you please go ahead and laugh so that she can feel good about herself? I said, because she needs this. And I went on and finished eating. And I rolled with her for years, decades. I rolled with her, and I love her to this day, and love her, and gonna continue to love her. And I consider her a sister. I rolled with her for years because I was so curious in what I was doing. What did I do to make her behave in such a way? And one time I called her and I said, "Hey, what did I do to make you mad?" And she was like, "Nothing." Okay, so what is this? What is this that I'm experiencing with you for decades, various different jobs, the same thing from you? Could not put my finger on it. And still to this day, can't put my finger on it. But guess what? I love it. And she called me. I'm on my way. Do you hear what I say? I love her to death. And I was sending, even when we weren't working at the same place, I would send messages. Hey, tell her I love her. Because you realize there's something within them that makes them, there's something broken in them that needs to be fixed. Because what woman goes after another woman like that so hard for no reason? It's either something I got that you want or something that you want to be. You understand? And I ain't had the best. I got a bent up focus sitting outside, 1-bedroom apartment. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm able to maintain it and I'm surviving. But I've sat in some beautiful rooms. You understand what I'm saying? And I scan the room. And I don't run up to no woman. I ain't gaslight nobody. I ain't gonna never be up your butt. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's just not how I am. And I try to treat people the way that I want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And so when I feel that it's a spirit, that's for the lack of a better word. When I feel that in the air, that bullying spirit, I go in attack mode, and I try to I try to resolve it. But I say all of that to say this: that woman went to work every day with people snickering and laughing at her. Now, should she have went and killed that woman? No, absolutely not. Do she need to be in jail for the rest of her life? She absolutely do. But when you get pushed, and this is what any individual, when you get pushed and pushed and pushed, you're gonna get triggered and you're gonna break. Now let's talk about mental illness, the other component with dealing with this young lady. Mental illness is real. You got a lot of mentally ill people that's working with you right now, and you never know it until it starts to display. And that's what I realized. You got a lot of mentally ill women and men that are working alongside you, and you will never know it until they are put in the right situation on the job. High pressured situation brings out mental illness out of people. You got a lot of women that are coming on and that are working with anxiety. I have anxiety. And you would never know it until they are put in a situation that caused them to be triggered and they display that mental illness. And you'll be like, oh my God, I never knew it. I just saw this a couple of weeks ago. An individual was put in a situation, they began to shake. And they began to ramble on. And I said to myself, I ain't never seen this person like this ever. I ain't never seen them like this. Come to find out they dealing with some stuff. You got have to be more careful when you're dealing with people. Quit taking people for a joke just on their cover or how they present themselves. You got some people will take you out. My brother is one of the most calm, soft. I'm talking about he talk real soft, and so I was thinking about the metaphoric change of the universe, blah 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 blah. He talk like that real cool. But if you keep poking him, you got about a good 3 pokes, and that 4th poke, somebody gonna be bleeding. And I could just about tell it, and I'm like, okay, let's end this conversation. And he do the same thing with me, which y'all don't know. He know. My brother know me. My brother know me better than he know me. Cause he know why? Cause he the same way. You know what I'm saying? We were having a conversation about something the other day, and I'm just trying to read. We talking it out. You know what I'm saying? He talking it out, and I got irritated, aggravated. And you know what he did? He said, I can see you aggravated, so I'm gonna back off of it, and we'll talk about this later. I will call you later. I can see that you have been aggravated, and I'm like, okay, because I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. Now he's a little bit more extreme. He gonna cut your throat and go head on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna. I have to be pushed to that. You know what I'm saying? But you never know what people's limits are. When you working with these people, you really don't know these people. You really don't know these people. You really don't know these people. So don't push people unless you're ready to jump. Unless you're ready to go there with them, don't push nobody. You got to be able to back up what your big mouth has said. You got to be able to back it up. And unfortunately, I'm not saying this is what this woman did, but something triggered this woman to go and get a knife and kill this mother of 7. It's unfortunate. It is extremely unfortunate. And I just wanted to cover this story. Mental illness is real, guys. If you get something out of this show, when you go to work tomorrow, please be kind to people. If you know you've been picking on somebody, stop picking on them. Because they got something at the house waiting on you. And they can't wait. They can't wait. Oh my God. Jesus help me, God. Mental illness is real. Mental illness is real. People. It's real. So please be kind to one another. Okay? Be kind to one another. Okay, so this young lady, you can tell, like we said before, something is going on with her mentally. We're just gonna put that out there. This ain't no allegedly. You can just tell. And I think I'm gonna say allegedly. I don't know. She was just being made fun of. You know what I'm saying? The dangerous part about that is a lot of times people who are victims and they being bullied by their boss, that's a different type of threat. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, you know how your employee, you know how all of us employees, we are, well, I don't, but I'm just saying employees, they get together and be like, the boss thing. Oh my God, the boss get on, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're the boss, you automatically is a target of whatever, because you in leadership. You're going to always be a target of whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when you're dealing with somebody who mental illness, that targeting can be dangerous. It can be extremely dangerous. You understand what I'm saying? So we, even with my boss, we sat down after this and seeing this story. We need to put some things in place. We need to put some things in place, because when you say she thought she was weak, so she picked on her until she had enough. Exactly. So look, so we said we're gonna put some things in place, because when you have to reprimand and being in leadership, you're going to have to reprimand eventually. You're going to have to discipline or write a staff up. You cannot stop doing your job. It's all about you being fair. You understand what I'm saying? But it kind of puts you in a serious situation. It kind of puts you in a serious situation. You understand what I'm saying? So me and my boss, we had a conversation like, yo, we might have to get some type of safe situation. Like get something to have something. You understand what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody trying to lose their life because they had to write you up. You hear what I say? Nobody's dying today, and it's not gonna be me. It's not gonna be me. It's not gonna be me. You understand what I'm saying? It's not gonna be. It's gonna be you. It's not gonna be me. And we living in that day and time where people are willing to bet it all because they can't. What they got to live for? Economy's bad. They struggling. People are hungry. They barely eating. Gas is high. People like I'm willing to bet it all because I'm tired. At least they be in prison where they can eat and got shelter and clothes. People think like that. Do you understand? People think like that, and they willing to bet it all because you done got smart with them and while you writing them up. Come on now. I know I'm telling the truth. So be kind. Be kind to individuals. Because a simple write-up can make you lose your life. You sending somebody home and you can lose your life. It's unfortunate. Again, that boss did nothing to warrant that girl coming in there and stabbing her. She didn't do absolutely nothing to warrant that. But see, come on. That girl temperament she was triggered. I got the video, and when I seen it, I was mortified. You ain't thinking that. You ain't thinking she went home, you know what I'm saying, talking normal on TikTok, and then come. This one here. This is look, this is right before the moment. This is right before she went in there and did it. Look at this. Hold on, y'all. I promise what's going on. See, StreamYard is doing some really weird. I don't think y'all can see it. Let me see.
Fuck about you telling me about you pulling the gun on a kid. I don't fucking.
Hold on, let me try it again. Let me play it again.
She's coming in there and talking about some yeah, I broke my door in half and I had to pull my gun out on my kids since this and that. Well, you know, telling us that like the fuck you telling us you pulled a gun out on your kids for? You sound like a fucking psychopath. That's what I wanted to tell her. She was talking about some she blacked out. I'm like, yeah, you must have had blacked out if you pulled the gun out on your kids. Like, you know, like I'm like, what the fuck you telling me this for? Like she think she's like trying to make it seem like that she big dog or some shit. Give a fuck about you telling me about you pulling the gun on a kid. I don't fucking.
She was already gone. She had already checked out. She had already checked out. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. Made us not be able to ever since they made us not be able to add our videos the other way. It's been StreamYard is whack. I'm gonna have to do something else. So y'all gonna have to sponsor $35 a month for me to pay for the subscription. Bottom line, shoot. Listen, she had already checked out. She said, I don't give a care about you saying you pulled a gun out on your daughter. She was gone. Because all she thinking is you done put me off of work again and I got these bills. That girl was checked out then. As small as she is, you can tell she was not playing no games. Lord forgive me. And I don't want to make light of this because somebody lost their life. For real. The bottom line is be kind. Okay, I'm about to get up off of here. Okay, it's hot and I need to get up off of here. Okay. All right. So y'all go ahead and be kind tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday? It's tomorrow Wednesday. So Friday, tomorrow I'm gonna be talking about what went down at the Essence Festival. Yeah, y'all might want to check into that and what's happening with moving forward with Essence, the conglomerate of Essence. We're gonna be talking about that. And figure out why African Americans are so mad. We're gonna talk about it, okay? Well, that's gonna be Friday tonight. I hope that you all do something kind. Be kind to somebody, be nice to somebody, and do something nice because you reap what you sow. It's gonna come back. Okay, this is your Queen Clay Lean saying be great. Bye-bye.